Share.
When you share, it always comes back to you, just in unexpected form or ways. It's the law of the universe. Every action has an equal reaction.
Welcome to This Explainer. If you've ever felt that creeping sense of internal stress, that constant anxiety of never quite having enough time, or just the pure exhaustion of being stuck in the daily rat race, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're unpacking a highly practical, really fascinating concept that completely flips our traditional understanding of success and peace on its head.
Okay, let's dive right into this. The absolute core philosophy we're exploring today is this idea that peace is found in the movement of value from you to the world. Now, I know it sounds totally counterintuitive, right? We are so deeply conditioned to think that accumulation of things, whether that's money, knowledge, or status, is what actually brings us security. But the source material we're digging into today argues the exact opposite. It makes the compelling case that giving things away is literally what makes you whole.
So, to really understand why this works, we first have to examine concept number one, the scarcity mindset, which is basically hoarding out of fear.
Let's think about what this mindset does to us using a metaphor. Imagine a stagnant pond. When we hoard our time, our knowledge, and our emotions just because we're terrified of losing them, we stagnate. Our energy stops moving, and frankly, it grows toxic. But then, contrast that with a flowing river. When we intentionally share and move value outward, our lives actually begin to flow. We're going to journey down this metaphorical river today, looking at all the different ways we can create this life-giving flow for ourselves.
Moving right along down the river, we hit section 2, the peace of connection. This is all about sharing your burdens. Now this part is huge. We often accidentally isolate ourselves from the very people who want to support us the most by creating what's called the hidden wall. We build this invisible barrier when we try to be quote-unquote strong and just carry all our burdens completely alone. We tell ourselves we're protecting others, or maybe we're just protecting our own image. But honestly, keeping our struggles entirely private just creates an incredibly stressful illusion of perfection. It literally builds a wall between us and the people who love us. So how do we actually break that wall down? The application here is beautifully simple. Sharing a struggle is not a sign of weakness at all. It's actually an active invitation for community. Think about it. If you're feeling totally overwhelmed by parenting or some massive personal project, just sharing that feeling with a friend, simply saying, "Hey, I'm having a hard time balancing this," instantly releases that intense pressure to look perfect. Peace arrives the exact second you realize you don't have to carry the entire world on your own shoulders.
All right, let's shift our focus inward for section 3, the peace of contribution. This is all about sharing your knowledge.
Consider this powerful idea. The ego is a major thief of peace. It is always hungry for recognition. This is so true. There are these dual, hidden stressors constantly at play in both our professional and personal lives. First, you've got the anxiety that stems from feeling stagnant or useless. And then, right next to it, there's the constant exhausting pressure of feeding a hungry ego that feels it always needs to be recognized and stay on top. Both of these will completely rob you of your tranquility, no question.
But there is an antidote, and it's contribution. The source lays out 2 concrete steps to achieve it. Step 1, share your knowledge. If you've mastered a really great time management tip, don't keep it to yourself. Offer it to a colleague who might be a few steps behind you. Step 2, share the credit. In any victory, make a point to publicly name the invisible hands that helped you. So if you get praised for a successful project, just say, "Thank you, but I seriously couldn't have done it without Sarah's research or Tom's feedback." You are literally quieting your own ego by happily sharing the spotlight.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how it creates such a profound mental shift. A competitive mindset is deeply, deeply stressful. You're constantly guarding your knowledge, fighting for every single ounce of credit. But by applying those 2 simple steps, you instantly shift into a collaborative mindset. Sharing your knowledge and your credit naturally creates this peaceful, highly supportive environment where you just don't have to fight to maintain your status anymore. It is a total game changer.
Next up, we are moving into the physical world with section 4, the peace of letting go. This is all about sharing your abundance. The source material identifies a very real, very common phenomenon called clutter stress. This is the act of clinging to physical things or even clinging to money purely out of a fear of not having enough. This grip of greed and fear literally creates physical stagnation in our lives. We surround ourselves with all this stuff, using it as a shield to make us feel secure, but eventually, that shield ends up feeling a whole lot like a cage.
To break that grip, we have to actually practice letting go. It's all about giving away things you no longer use, or maybe donating a small portion of your resources without expecting a single thing in return. Want a great immediate example? Go through your closet today and share the clothes you haven't worn in a year with someone in need. The physical act of letting go of stuff directly creates mental space. It acts as a powerful, tangible reminder that your true security absolutely does not come from what you own.
And that brings us to the last tributary of our flowing river. Number 5, the peace of positivity, sharing joy.
So the crucial point here is this. Negative news spreads incredibly fast on its own, doesn't it? But peace spreads through the intentional sharing of what is going right. We all know exactly how easy it is to just default to complaints. But building real, lasting internal tranquility, that requires proactive, positive broadcasting. Here is exactly how you put that into practice. Make it a daily habit to share just one good thing that happened to you. When you walk through the door at the end of the day, instead of immediately venting about the terrible traffic, try sharing a story about a beautiful sunset you saw on the drive, or maybe a genuinely funny moment you heard on the radio. By choosing to broadcast the positive, you are actually reinforcing that positivity in your own mind. It overrides the stress and makes your internal state so much more tranquil.
Let's see how this all builds into our final overarching theme today. Number 6, the paradox of sharing, and how you can multiply your peace.
This all brings us to the ultimate paradox of this explainer. The more you keep for yourself, the less you have. When we desperately hold onto our time, our knowledge, our credit, and our possessions out of pure fear, we just end up feeling drained, isolated, and totally stressed out. But the moment we let those things flow outward, the very moment we choose to share our struggles, our wins, our belongings, and our joy, our internal peace doesn't just grow, it multiplies.
Which brings us to a final, really vital question for you to consider right now. What is one small thing, literally just one piece of advice, a quick compliment, or a physical item that you could share today to make your world feel just a bit lighter? Seriously, don't wait for tomorrow. Disrupt that scarcity mindset today, get your river flowing, and watch how quickly your own peace expands. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I absolutely cannot wait to see what you choose to share.